So you are able to see, right, the board?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyway, we'll start our discussion. Okay. So last class, so we have started this dynamic stability. Okay. So this is a very important thing. So we have to find out the boundaries. So the mainly the thing in dynamic stability, what we are trying to do is we are trying to find out is the stability boundaries. See which region will be unstable. So here our stability boundaries are defined by the amplitude of the load, okay, versus its this forcing frequency to natural frequency. So this is how we are trying to find out. So this type of graphs, say if you plot, you can understand, say where are the regions where your solution can become unstable, so that you can do your design or whatever, say, okay, for the so that you can avoid these type of regions itself. Okay. So here the most important thing what we found out in our last class was, so everything depends on the roots, okay, that is the eigenvalues of our matrix. So we have seen the most important thing what we assign is, suppose if there are distinct real roots, say, so then there is a chance of instability can happen. Okay, the eigenvalues, if they are like this. Now when b is equal to 1, we have done. Okay, so this one will give you the the real root. So here we had row 1 row 2 say as 1, and then row 1 row 2 say as the minus 1. So this was the thing. So here we can understand this. So this gives you the periodic solutions with time period t, and this one will give you the periodic solutions with the time period 2t. So this is a very the most important thing. So whenever you are seeing the stability boundaries, okay, so not only rho 1 rho 2 is equal to 1, then minus 1 also comes, but here the periodicity changes, switches from t to 2t. And suppose if rho 1 and rho 2 are complex, say, so anyway no need to worry. So which means our solutions are stable, so no divergence is possible. Okay, so this is what we discussed in our last class, and we have done one example problem. Okay, so where that is q double dot plus omega square, say, so 1 minus this phi of t times equal to 0, assumed pulse. Only thing is after some point of time, so it is changing the sign itself. So we have drawn all the stability boundaries, so that is our b, this one is equal to 1. We have wrote that big equation, say, okay, which is also here a transcendental the equation kind of a thing, and then we have plotted all the stability boundaries also. Okay, so this we have discussed in our last class. And now when there is a damping, say, this also we started. So then the equation of motion, you see, so last class we already wrote, so q dot, say, 2 beta times q dot. So this is an extra term which has entered our calculation. So 1 minus 2 mu, so phi of t times q is equal to 0. So now here we did a change of variables. So if we substitute q of t as some e to the power of minus beta t u of t, say, okay, so then we automatically we have seen that one can write this equation as u double dot plus omega beta square times 1 minus 2 times mu of beta, so phi of t times u, okay, is equal to 0 we get, and omega beta, say, so this is omega square, so 1 minus beta square by omega square, and mu beta, say, so this can be written as so omega square by omega square minus beta square times mu. Okay, so the equation can be, so there is no change actually. Essentially, once again you will get the same massive equation itself with just slightly this and these terms are slightly different. Okay, so you can solve once again the same concept here, but instead of q we are solving for u. So once you know u, say, then you can go back and substitute in q of t. So now the solution of this equation, you see, we already wrote in the last class. So uk of t, say, so this psi k of t, okay, so e to the power of okay exponent, so t by capital T log of the rho k, which are anyway the roots which comes from our equations 1 comma 2 itself. So q of t say, so because qk will be simply so psi k of t, so you have to multiply this uk with the e to the power of minus beta t, which we wrote previously. So the solution becomes exponential, so t by capital T log of rho k minus beta times t. Okay, so this enters our thing. So this terms you can write in a nice fashion, some psi k of t exponent, so t by capital T log of rho k. So use rho k is assuming it to be complex, so you substitute in real part, imaginary part and other thing. So this one, so where our psi k of t, this will be so psi k of t e to exponent say, so I t by capital T, so argument of rho k. Okay, so this we can write the solution you see in this format. So now here so the whether the solution is stable or unstable, so it depends on which quantity now. Now so psi k anyway you have this imaginary term is there, so then we have this important term actually, so the stability is controlled by this term itself. So if t by if suppose if beta say, so suppose if you want bounded solutions, so now what should happen if it is the solution has to be bounded, so this is the one which controls our stability. So if this is a positive say, so then e to the power of positive thing means the solution becomes unbounded. So if you want a bounded solution say, greater than, so if this is a greater than this one say, so then you will get the bounded solutions. So generally in our structural dynamics, okay, so you would have studied whenever there is a damping, so this means you see you will always get a undamped solutions, and finally because damping will automatically follow, right, it comes makes the system you see comes back to zero itself. But when it comes to stability say, there is a possibility that your system may become unstable, although damping may be there, but it depends on our beta and then you see this term. So if beta is less than this one say, so then here in the exponent you will get a positive term, still there is a chance of going this instability coming into our calculations. So like so we can write, so now case 1 like we wrote previously. So if rho 1 and rho 2 say the roots are distinct real numbers, okay, so if there are distinct real numbers, so and we have seen previously so if rho 1, if 1 is less than 1 say, then rho 2 becomes greater than 1, or other way around also we have seen. Okay, so since if rho 1 is less than 1, okay, so which means so when it is less than 1 say, so what happens here was so log of less than 1 means this will be 1, so automatically you follow, right, you will get negative and then the solution will be stable. Okay, so which means you see your q1 of t say it goes to 0 as t tends to infinity. And solution, another solutions, if the bounded thing is possible, so if beta say is greater than or equal to 1 by t log of this rho 2, the solutions bounded. So previously it was 1 and minus 1 was controlling the stability boundary, but now we have this beta which is the one which controls our stability boundaries. So at the stability boundary say, so if rho 2 is e to the power of beta t, okay, so which is greater than 0, so one can show that t plus t will be same as x2 of t, so which leads to so q2 of t plus term capital T say, so this will be same as the q2 of t, so which means you will get a periodic solution. Okay, like whatever we did previously, it is same actually. So where did this we calculated for plus 1 and minus 1, now we have to do this expression rho 2 e to the power of beta t. So now this is our stability boundary, because this is our the controlling thing which comes into picture. So this is the one which control. So periodic solution we get you see of capital T itself. Now another boundary say, so if our rho 2, if it is minus e to the power of beta t and it is less than 0 say, so then we can show that same thing, like t plus capital T will be minus this one of capital T, and we can show that you see q2, so t plus 2t will be same as q2 of t. So you will get a periodic solution say. Now with the period becomes 2 times t. So 2 times you see t itself. So everything is same as whatever we did previously, only boundary is changing. Okay. So now another case which previously was the will be 0. So this expression if you see here, so this expression you see, so log of this becomes 0. So finally you have e to the power of minus beta t itself. So which means all the solutions they automatically they become stable itself. So since log of rho 1 and log of rho 2 say, so they become 0. So obviously one can say that q1 of t and q2 of t, both the solutions corresponding to rho 1 and rho 2, they all tends to 0 as t tends to infinity. And because our beta say it is greater than 0, so automatically e to the power of minus beta t comes, and finally everything collapses. Okay. And now the case 3 say, suppose if the roots are all complex. So these are all complex roots. Okay. So then also, so so log of because of the complex conjugate and others, so this also goes to 0. So we have qk of t. So this becomes psi k of t, and then we have this e to the power of minus beta t. So here also we will get the bounded solutions when the roots are complex. Okay, which is same as the previous case. So now you can find out that, so when there is a damping say, still there is a chance of instability coming into our solutions, but so that is possible. So this is our criteria. So beta t say, so this should be greater than so this is the most important criteria which decides whether the solution is stable or not. So it is not like when you incorporate a damping into the system say, nothing, you cannot escape this instability. So still there is a chance of instability coming into our solutions. So in our ordinary dynamics say, if you remember that transmissibility, or you would have plotted that. So at resonance you remember you would have plotted something like this actual. Okay, so everything is going towards infinity if damping is 0 for an undamped system. If it is a damped system say, so the solution becomes like this 1 by 2 times eta, like that we try to write it. But here what's happening is, so there is no chance of the solution going towards infinity. Okay, but here what happens is, although damping is there, still there is a chance the solution can go to unbounded kind of a thing, provided our boundary is this beta t should be less than or equal to 1 by t log of this roots itself. So this is the most the important thing. So when there is a damping say, nothing is going to change. The stability boundaries are going to change from plus or minus 1 to e to the power of rho 2 is equal to e to the power of beta t. So this is a boundary changing. Okay, so this happens for a damped solutions. So now let us look at the solutions that Matthew Hill equation itself is say. Okay, so q double dot. So let us try to find out omega square. So 1 minus 2 nu cos of nu t by q is equal to 0. The Matthew Hill equation itself. So now let us look at the solutions. So previously we have looked at the solution assuming phi as plus h minus h like that. Now if it is a periodic force say. So it's applied, so P cos, it is a this type of a sinusoidal load itself. So this, this is the equation of equilibrium motion which we derived long back. Now let us look at the solutions. Okay. So now the solution means here we are not interested in the, the response or something like that. So we are interested in finding this stability boundaries. What are the regions where my solution becomes unstable? Okay. So this is what we are interested actually. So which region we should escape. That is it is a combination of amplitude and amplitude of the load and your nu, that is the frequency of the load. We non-dimensionalize, so we write nu by omega, where omega is the natural frequency of the system. So which regions are the most the dangerous kind of a thing. So now here so this equation say is basically it is a a periodic coefficient, where here you are having inside our this itself. So the solutions are little bit the complex here. So now there is one famous theorem in mathematics, so Floquet's theorem. Okay, so this Floquet's theorem says, or Floquet's theory also they say. So he tried to give a a solution for these type of ordinary differential equations with periodic coefficients. So what this Floquet's theorem says, what he says is, the solution for these type of equations where you are having a periodic terms. He says that, he has established a mathematical theory like whatever we did previously also. He says that, the solution can be written in terms of, two solutions are possible, one with the periodicity t, another one with the periodicity, 2t. So two types of solutions, exist, for these type of problems. And this capital T 2t also it comes because the stability boundaries, when rho 1 rho 2 is same as 1, say, then you will get a periodicity t, then rho 1 rho 2 as minus 1, then you will get a periodicity of 2t itself. So all this theory comes from this Floquet's the theorem itself. So he says it has two distinct solutions. So one solution will be with respect to periodicity t itself, another one will be with respect to periodicity 2t itself. So that's how he derived this theory, and that is how the solution comes from this type of this Floquet's theory. So now for this problem say, so now this is our equation of equimotion. Okay, this is our Matthew Hill equation. So now here, as per Floquet's theory say, so two solutions exist, one with a periodicity 2t, another one with a periodicity t itself. Okay, so now let us look at these solutions, and as already aim is not to find out the periodic solution say. Okay, with 2t. Now, so let us look at these type of solutions actually, which has a period 2t. So that means so t is 2 pi by anyway this nu itself. So now so periodic solutions of period 2t can be expressed in terms of this Fourier series, that is odd terms. So q of t, so if you take the Fourier series, so ak sine, so 2 pi. So if I write this one, so k pi t by using capital T plus bk cos of so k pi t by capital T. So now the periodic solutions 2t can be given by this odd terms actually. Okay, so if there are odd terms say like for example you would have seen, right, what is like for this sine 3 pi by 2, say, what is sine 3 pi by 2 or sine pi by 2? See, what is sine pi by 2?
1.
1. Now what is sine 3 pi by 2? See, because order terms, k becomes 1, 3 pi say. So sine pi by 2 is 1, but sine 3 pi by 2 is
-1.
minus 1. Then sine 5 pi by 2 is
Again 1.
1. So you can see what is the periodicity now.
2 pi.
Now 2t you followed, right, twice. So generally in the Fourier series order terms, they give you a periodicity of twice actual, 2 times t. So that's why you see. So in the Fourier series say we take this order terms. Okay, so if you want to write a solutions which has a periodicity 2 times t say, so then you take order terms in the Fourier series, automatically you will get this terms itself. Okay, so if you want periodicity t say, then you should go for even terms. Say like for example sine 2 pi. What's the value of sine 2 pi?
0.
And sine 4 pi?
0.
0. So there you can see the periodicity is t itself. So these how we write the solutions. Okay. So now you substitute, say. Now you substitute the. So this you have to substitute all the terms will be. So here the unknowns are these terms. So the coefficients are the unknowns, ak, then the bk kind of a thing. So if you substitute, you will get terms like you have to do a big all the expressions will come. So if you substitute, you will get terms like cos nu t, then sine k nu t by 2. So cos, this comes from that forcing function. Then you will be having cos nu t, then cos k nu t by 2. So you have to do some trigonometric identities. Okay, so we can substitute this as sine k plus 2 into nu t. Okay, so by 2 plus sine k minus 2 into nu t by 2. Okay, then we have this will be half cos of k plus 2 into nu t by 2 plus cos of k minus 2 into nu t by 2. Okay, so like this you have to use all the trigonometric identities, and then you substitute in the equations of motion. So you will get some very big equations like 1 plus mu minus r square times a1 minus mu times a3. All odd terms will be there because the periodicity is 2t. So sine nu t by 2. Okay, plus we have so 1 minus 9 times r square multiplied by a3 minus mu a1 plus a5. Okay, so like this terms comes sine 3 nu t by 2. Okay, like this a terms will come, a1 a2 you followed, right, which are anyway coefficients of the sine term. Then similarly we have this which corresponds to b. So 1 minus mu minus r square. Okay, so multiplied by b1 minus mu into b3. Cos terms also will be there, nu t by 2 plus so 1 minus 9 times r square, say. So b3 minus mu b1 plus b3. Okay, so cos of 3 nu t by 2. So like this you will get several terms is equal to 0. So now of course r is nothing but, so r is equal to so nu by 2 times omega. So this is our r. So it is nothing but the ratio between the forcing frequency to the natural frequency of the system. So now since we all know that nu t by cos nu means this term all of them should goes to 0 itself. Okay, so since sine nu t by 2, then this sine 3 nu t by 2, of course cos also you see nu t by 2. So they are all linearly independent. So the coefficients have to become 0, so which we will get a set of equations. So for k is equal to 1, say, so we get 1 plus mu minus r square into a1 minus mu times a3 is equal to 0, first equation. Then k is equal to 3, 5 for all other terms, say. So you can write this as 1 minus k square r square into ak minus mu ak minus 2 plus ak plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so like this you can write the general equation. Now similarly for cos terms, if you take so this is valid for the sine terms. Okay, so this is the top one is for the sine terms. Now similarly, so you can write for the cos terms also. So this becomes 1 minus mu minus r square b1 minus mu times b3 is equal to 0. And for all other higher order terms, say 3, 5 and all other things, so we can write this as 1 minus k square r square. So bk minus mu. Okay, so bk minus 2 plus bk plus 2 is equal to 0. So you can see, so this is for the cos terms. So if you see these two equations, say one is for A's and other one is for the B's. So you can see that when K is equal to 3, 5 and other things say, okay, with the equation for B and equation for A, both of them are exactly same to same, okay. But when it comes to K is equal to 1, say, so this one is also more or less similar, but only thing is there is a sign change for mu. Here it is 1 plus mu, here it is 1 minus mu, okay. So these are all the homogeneous, linear algebraic solutions you see we get on the right hand side. So homogeneous, you see the linear algebraic equations we get. Now we are interested in the stability. So now what is that you have to do if you want to find out stability? What should happen? Stable, unstable, or what are the boundaries? So this we want to find out. So now from these equations, how do you find out? So what is that you have to do? What is that you have to do now?
We need to check if Q of t is bounded or not.
Bounded. So how do we check? So now we have got in terms of the coefficients, okay. So what should happen here? So all these equations can be written in a matrix format, a1 a3, b1 b3 b4 or something like this. So the determinant of the matrix will tell you whether you see resonance instability can happen or not, okay. So this you have to write it in a matrix format. So that is how we did previously also. In previous also, what did we do? We calculate all the things, determinant of the matrix. So row 1, row 2 are the roots, and then we examined how row 1, row 2 was looking like that. Now here there are no row 1, row 2, but here we are having several a1, b1, all kinds of terms are there. So now you have to find out, you see, the eigenvalues are there, this matrix is the diagonals are you followed, right? So that we have to do. So this thing we can write it in a matrix format, these equations. So you can write like this, okay. So 1 plus r minus mu minus r square, then minus mu, 0, all are zeros actually. So then minus mu 1 minus 9 times r square, so minus mu 0, like this actually. Then 0, then minus mu 1 minus 25 r square, then minus mu, and of course you followed, right, 0, and then you see like this the terms goes away, okay. So this is how the matrix comes. So this 1 plus or minus mu is basically 1 plus means you will have A, 1 minus mu means you have B itself. Okay, so these comes out values. It's not 0, but if it is very, very small, so what happens to these equations? Now, what happens to the terms here? See, when mu is 0, that is amplitude of the load actually. If it is very, very small, say, so what happens to these matrices?
It will become a diagonal matrix.
They become a perfect diagonal matrix actually, okay. So mu tends to 0, say. This equation is very complex, but it is most important. The coefficient matrices, okay, they become diagonal. So they become diagonal, the matrices here. So now these are diagonals, all are of them will be diagonal. So 1 minus r square, then 1 minus 9 times r square, then 1 minus 25 times r square, like that you followed it. So this has to be equated to 0, the diagonals, okay. So if you solve this one set, so you have 1 minus 2k minus 1 the whole square r square is equal to 0. So this you get here. So now we can find out the boundaries here. So now r is the one which contains is nu by 2 times omega. Okay, so this is our interest here. So now you solve for r, this r say. So finally, when mu is very, very small, that is mu tends to 0, so one can find out r is equal to, you see, nu by 2 times omega, which is 1 by 2k minus 1 itself. So this is how we get our stability boundary, this one. So now versus r. is what the stability bound. And now what is the boundary? What is the stability boundary here for this case? Where are the located? So when k is equal to 1, say, what happens? So this is a boundary, right? R is equal to this itself. So now R is equal to 1 itself. So 2 minus. So this is our stability bound. So where you have to mark. So since mu anyway we are assuming it to be very, very small. So this is my stability boundary actually. Now when k is equal to 3, what happens? 2 3s are 6, 6 minus 1 is 1 by 5. You followed, right? So you have 1 by 5. Then k is equal to 5, say 2 5s are 10, so 1 by 9. So these are all the, you followed, right? The dangerous the places where the solutions becomes unstable kind of a thing. So now you can easily find out. So if the load is amplitude is very, 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 very small, say, so this is like an approximation actually how the boundaries they looks like. Okay, so this is how it goes away. So this is how the stability the diagram, or the stability, this one, are these type of equations, say generally they are also known as boundary frequency equations. So this also technically people use boundary frequency equation. So what this is speciality of this equation is, so this equation, it is not it tells you where things can go unstable way. So that is what this boundary frequency equations, you see, they tell us. Okay, so now this is how we can solve for the boundary, this one. So now but this we have assumed the solutions of periodicity 2t. Okay, this is one type of solutions you write. So Floquet's theory says is you can have two type of solutions. One is given by the 2t, other one is by capital T, which we have also seen the previously. So now if you see periodic solutions, say, okay, of T now, okay, T. So these type of solutions where the boundaries will be located. So now Q of T, say. So now here, as already I told you, you have to take the even terms. So of course this in 0 even k pi t by capital T. Okay, so this is our solution. So you can also write this as so b naught plus k is even, so ak, so sine k nu t by 2 plus bk cos of k nu t by 2 itself. Okay, so this is our, of course now the k becomes even numbers. So now you substitute in the equation, you will get set of equations. So k is equal to 2, say. So I will get 1 minus 4 times r square multiplied by a2 minus mu times a4 is equal to 0. And similarly for 4 6 other higher order terms, I get 1 minus k square r square ak minus mu, so ak minus 2 plus ak plus 2 is equal to 0. So this is for A's. Okay, now similarly we have to do for B's also, that is for the cos k nu t by 2. So this term also. So for here you will have k is equal to 0 also, because b naught is there, right? So b naught minus b2 equal to 0. One more extra equation you have, because k is equal to 0 and k is equal to 2, say 1 minus 4 times r square b2 minus mu times is it 2 b naught plus b4 is equal to 0. Then we have for the higher order terms 4 6, say you will get a sequence of equations. So 1 minus k square r square into bk minus mu, so bk minus 2 plus bk plus 2 is equal to 0. So this is how we get our equations. But here the only problem is you can't combine actually. Okay, previously a and b can be it is not combination, but 1 plus r you can write in a generalized format. But here because you have k is equal to 0, one more equation comes. Then for k is equal to 2, and then the higher order terms, say, then there are differences are there. Okay, so we write separate for ak and bk itself. So for a case, say if you write it in a matrix format, so we have 1 minus 4 r square minus mu 0, like this the terms comes, then minus mu 1 minus 16 times r square minus mu 0, like this it comes, then 0 minus mu 1 minus 36 times r square, then once again you have minus mu, of course 0, all the extra terms will be there. So this is how you follow, right? Yeah. So this is how the other terms looks like this. So this is for the AK. So this has to be 0 determinant to find out the stability. Now similarly for B's, you have one more equation, 1 minus mu 0, like this. Then you have minus 2 times mu 1 minus 4 times r square minus mu 0, like this it goes away. Then 0 minus mu 1 minus 16 times r square, 0, like this. So 0 0 30 r square has to be 0, the determinant of this matrices. So now like in the previous case, say, okay, so you can solve like so of course closed form is very difficult, but if one can show that as mu tends to 0, as mu becomes very very small, say, now what happens here as mu becomes very very small, now what happens to these matrices? Yeah, A and B. So this is A and this is B. So what happens when mu tends to 0?
Again, diagonal matrix.
Once again same diagonal matrix, so it simply becomes 1 minus 4r square, 1 minus 16r square, 1 minus 36r square, like that. Now here also 1 into 1 minus 4r square, 1 minus 16, 1 minus, it's the same thing, because only 1 is there here, so you get, and finally one can show that you see this r, say, is 1 by 2k, where r is mu by 2 times omega actually. Okay, so this is how the equation comes up, the stability equation. So now what are the roots? When k is equal to 2, say, if you try to plot, okay, so mu versus this r. So what is the, for k is equal to 2, what is the root? So 1 by 4, you followed, right? So this becomes 1 by 4, then 1 by 8, like that it comes. So if you see the roots here, say, previously our roots was our, where we wrote the third one. See, our roots was 1, then 1 by 5, then 1 by 9 came actually. Okay, 1 by 5, 1 by 9. 1 was there, then 1 by 5 came. Okay, so 1 by 5 followed it, it came. Now when k is equal to 4, what happens? So when k is equal to 4, so 1 by 8 will come actually. But what will be the next root?
1 by 10.
1 by 10, no, but before 1 by 10 we have odd term will come. So what if you see the odd ones, you are having, you see the 1 by 9 is the one root actually, you can see. So 1 by 9 can come. So how these things? So the first root, it goes to, you see, 2t. Second root goes to t. Third root once again goes to 2t. Then the fourth root comes once again to t itself. So it, you follow, right? So it switches actual. This side, that side, periodic solution of 2t, then t. So like that, it goes into, you can get the stability boundaries. So for the entire system, if you try to plot the stability boundaries, so you have to do all the roots, you have to plot. 1, then 1 by 4, say. So this is a even odd, and these are all 2t, say. Okay, so this one will be t, say. So you have this, then once again this, then once again this, then once again, so like this, it shifts from this region to this region. So these are all the unstable regions actually. You followed. So when, of course, here of course we have assumed that mu is very very small. That's how you see we have got this type of graph actually. So if you want to find out for mu also, say, so then you have to do these approximations. So like for example, so we can do this first order approximation, say. We cannot solve the entire equation. Okay, first order approximation. In the Fourier series, say, we have assumed k runs from 3, 5, 1, 3, 5 up to all the things itself. So we have got these equations. Okay, so this was our, so for the first root will be the odd equation. So this is our equation. So the odd one, that is 2t comes into picture. See, now we have assumed that k goes from 1, 3, 5 up to infinity kind of a thing. So if I want to do only first order approximation, say, that means I am interested only in the first term. Okay, so k becomes only 1 itself. So I am neglecting all the higher order terms. Second order means I will include 2 terms in the Fourier series. Okay, so this is how it comes. So this is my Fourier series expansion. So if I include only the first term, say, I will get first order expansion. If I include 2 terms, say, then second order, third order we can find out. So of course we cannot do for infinite by infinite matrix, we cannot compute the determinants. Okay, so depending on the order of the terms, we can compute this the determinant, and we can plot actual the stability boundaries. So let us say the first order approximation. So that means we are including only one term in the Fourier series. And as already told you, the first root corresponds to which period? No. The first root.
2t.
2t. So which one you have to do? You have to take the previous solution. Second root, if you are looking at, means you have to once again come to the second thing, and then you have to do like this. Okay, let us say the first term, and we are interested in the first root itself. So then you are having only one term, 1 plus mu minus r square is equal to 0. You will solve this expression, say. So nu by 2 times omega, which is r. So this becomes 1 plus r minus mu. You can approximate this as 1 plus r minus half times mu. Okay, and our solution is we have included only one term in the Fourier series. So a1 into sine nu t by 2 plus b1 cos nu t by 2. So this is my solution. Only one term I have included in the Fourier series. So now we can plot the boundary. So now the boundary, say, the boundary frequency equation, that is r is 1 plus r minus half times mu. Okay, so this is my boundary frequency equation. So how it looks like now? So where we have to plot this one, the first root, say, where the first root will be now. So now at mu is equal to 0, what will be this one? See, now we have to plot this expression. So there is what two lines are there, 1 plus half times mu, other one is 1 minus half times mu. Two things are there actually. Okay, here. So now this anyway, when mu is equal to 0, say, then everything collapses to 1. Okay, so this is my root, the first root, when mu is equal to 0. Now as mu keeps on increasing, say, what happens? One straight line is with plus half slope, other one is with respect to minus the half kind of a thing. So the boundary regions will be using like this. So as mu keeps on increasing, so this also increases. So this is my stability boundaries. Okay, so if I am inside this boundary, say, so that means I am unstable actually. Okay, so this is my unstable regions. So here, so with this, we have plotted, mu versus r. Okay, by including the first order terms, you can see here. You followed. So this is my unstable boundary. Okay, other outside it is anyway, a stable thing. So now you can decide as amplitude, increases versus r, how things are going actually. Okay, so now in a similar fashions, you can do second order also. So second order approximation means what you have to do?
Include 2 terms.
2 terms in the Fourier series. So then you will get a matrix. Okay, so that means you see 1 plus r minus mu minus r square, then minus mu, then minus mu, 1 minus 9 times r square. For the first root only, we are doing second order approximation to find out only the first root. Okay, with periodicity to 2t only. So determinant becomes 1 plus mu minus r square into 1 minus 9 times r square minus mu square is equal to 0. So now you have to solve for mu. Okay, so this is r. Okay, so finally your r becomes square root of 1 plus r minus mu minus mu square by 1 minus 9 times the r square. So this is our roots. Okay, or if you expand this in a this if you approximate the square root, say, we can write this expression as a half times 16 times the mu square. Okay, so now how the expressions are looking like, how the boundary will look like now. So when mu is equal to 0, anyway you followed it, everything collapses to 1 only. That is the first root, okay? Because anyway we are interested in the first root only. Now how the stability boundaries looks like now. See, previously we had half mu. Now we had extra 1 minus 16 into mu square. So now how the boundaries will be looking like? No.
Will be parabolic.
Parabolic, they will not be straight line, okay? And let us say this is the first one, say. See, the first order approximation is a straight line. Okay, this is the first order approximation. So this is which when r is equal to, you see, 1 plus half times mu. So this is the first order approximation, say. Now the second order approximation, it will be something like this. It will be slightly curved, but not this one. So these are the first order. So these also first order, this one. So the second order, say. So this is my second order approximations. So you can see here. So when it comes to the right side, say, first order will be more than second order. But when it comes to the left side, so your second order thing will be more than, the first order. You followed? So this is how, the second order things will be there. Okay, so this is the unstable region actually. So slightly the boundaries will come onto this side actually. So the second order approximation. So this is how you see the stability boundaries, you see, it looks like. And of course, you can do for higher order approximations, So if you go for higher order, it is essentially like a Taylor series only. Okay. So if you go for higher order, so R becomes, say, 1 plus R minus half times mu first order, then second order, say, mu square, then, 5 by 128, mu cube, like this, it keeps on the solution, it goes on going. 271 by 3072 mu to the power of 4. So like this, the solution keeps on increasing. So now your stability boundaries becomes more and more and more and more curved actually, okay? But as long mu is very, very small amplitude, then, you can decide the first order term itself may be fine, or second order, of course, mu is very large. So then maybe, you may have to consider the higher order terms in the series itself. So like this, you can do. So this is for the first region. Now second stability region. So whatever we have done is for the first region. Now if you want to go for second stability region, so now what you have, second is given by which one you have to do now? Second stability means
T.
T. So you have to go for those things. A, and we wrote even terms we have to see. So here you have to do period 2. That is a T. Okay. So first order approximations. So here also you can do, but here there are two things, I think. 1 minus 4 times R square, then minus mu, then minus mu, 1 minus 16 times the R square. So this becomes 0. So you solve here also. So what happens is R becomes you can approximate finally. This turns out to be half so 1 minus mu square by 1 minus 16 times R square half. Okay, and finally when mu becomes very, very small, say, if you can and then you can approximate this you see this equation by, like, you see, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 12 mu square actually. Okay, you can neglect for small mu. Now this is for A matrix. Now you have to do for B also. The B was 1 minus mu, then minus 2 mu, then 1 minus 4 times R square. So this is equal to 0. So here also, say, so you can get R as after doing all the calculations, so 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 mu square. So which comes for B, and this for A. Okay. So, and of course our solution will be Q of t is B naught plus A2 sine 2 pi t by capital T plus B2 cos 2 pi t by capital T. Okay, and I will just plot the boundary here. Okay, so you have this mu versus R. Now here how the boundaries looks like. You see here the boundaries are not equal. See here you are having one which constraints from AK, that is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 12 mu square. Other one is 1 by 2 minus half mu square. So the boundaries will be so this will be at 1 by 2. Okay, so the equations is something like this. So this comes as 1 by 2 plus 1 by 12. The other one is looks uses like this. Okay, so this is our unstable region. Okay, so this way we can find out all the stability boundaries itself. Okay, so anyway I will stop here, so we will continue in our next class. Okay.